Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell is a nonfiction novel that discusses the path to success through a series of examples. The first character in the book is Bill Joy, a well-known computer genius and intelligent mathematician whose story takes place during the 1970s. Although he was not initially interested in programming, Joy became hooked on it when he discovered the computer center at the University of Michigan, one of the few places at the time to have one. He racked up thousands of hours of programming, so when he was asked to reprogram Unix, he was entirely ready. He continued his programming studies at Berkeley, going on to become a brilliant and successful programmer who even wrote JavaScript. The next example Gladwell uses is the Beatles, a famous band who started playing together in 1957. While in high school, they were asked to play in Hamburg, Germany, at a variety of strip clubs. They had to play for hours on end, averaging about 8 a day, forcing them to learn many new songs as well as improve their playing skills. These helped them to create their own sound as well as set them up for a successful future. Gladwell's final story is about Bill Gates, a famous computer genius who invented Microsoft. Gates became hooked on computers in 8th grade when a special time-sharing terminal was installed at his high school in 1968. When money ran out, a company known as C-Cubed offered to let the high schoolers, including Gates, test out their software programs. After this, Gates began hanging around the computer center at the University of Washington, spending hours programming there. From the combined hours of all of these, Gates became incredibly talented at programming, leading him to the success he has today. All of these people serve as examples in Gladwell's overarching story about how various factors, including ethnicity, date of birth, childhood, income, and pure coincidence, affect the successfulness of any one person. He analyzes the lives of a variety of people to demonstrate what allowed them to achieve their success. Prior to Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell had already written other popular books, including Blink and The Tipping Point, which are written in a similar style. He has been a staff writer for The New Yorker since 1996. Before that, he wrote for The Washington Post, as well as holding a variety of other journalist positions. Before becoming a journalist, Gladwell attempted to go into advertising, but was unsuccessful. Gladwell did not attend a grad school after college because his grades were not good enough. Gladwell claims that his purpose in writing Outliers was to expose the path to success and to demonstrate how success is not purely self-made, but reliant upon many other things. He sought to undermine the idea that success is based on personality and intelligence only. As he says in the first chapter, Gladwell wishes to demonstrate, quote, that there is something profoundly wrong with the way we make sense of success, end quote. Throughout the novel, Gladwell uses an informal yet engaging tone in order to connect with his audience. In writing Outliers, Gladwell uses a very distinct and interesting writing style. First of all, his organization is very neat. Gladwell divides the novel into 3 parts, with each part split into chapters. The chapters are then divided into sections, averaging about 8 sections per chapter. He constantly switches between examples and analyzation within the chapters, often having multiple examples running at once within a chapter. The back-and-forth style keeps the reader engaged and prevents them from becoming uninterested. Each chapter discusses a different part of his thesis. For example, one chapter is dedicated to the 10,000-hour rule, while another talks about the effect of birth dates on success. This neatly breaks down his main idea for the reader. Gladwell demonstrates excellent use of sentence structure and word choice throughout the novel. He uses a mix of complex and simple sentences in order to keep the reader engaged and keep the story flowing. Take, for example, the simple sentence, quote, "One frigid winter he worked on a clam boat in Long Island," end quote, which is followed by the complex one, quote, "He took factory jobs and minor civil service positions and eventually became a bouncer in a bar on Long Island, which was his principal occupation for much of his adult years," end quote. Gladwell consistently uses this contrast throughout the novel, as well as varying his sentences in length. The novel uses mostly common words, with very few unrecognizable ones, making it easy to read and understand for most age and intelligence groups. The book is characterized by using informal language such as you or I, which allows Gladwell to connect with his audience as well as make them feel as if he is directly addressing them. For example, Gladwell says, "I have to confess, I couldn't figure this one out, and I'm guessing most of you couldn't either." In this sentence, he establishes a connection with the reader by playing on a mutual feeling as well as using informal language. Overall, Gladwell manages to get across the idea that success is created by the mixture of many factors, as well as prove that current ideas of success are wrong.